Also, attendee complete forms, also liability forms. This is one of the most complex forms, and there is a lot we need to cover about this form to fully understand how it works. So this form is not going to be available anywhere in the menu because each person will have his or her unique link to this form in order to submit it. So here I have an example of how the email looks like. Well, we will change the text later, but here you see that this is the unique link to liability form for this attendee. And why it's so important is that we transfer a lot of information using this link. So for example, if you look here, we have a retailer ID, we have a show code, we have a user ID, and a lot of FileMaker information that we need in order to process it and link it correctly in FileMaker. So as we scroll here, we see the current version of the form, and when in fields where we see an asterisk, it means it's a required field. So a person should initial here, and this part is going to be pre-populated for him or her with his first name, last name, and email. Then equipment details. This is also a required field, and the person can choose either ski or snowboard. So let's say, for example, we choose ski. The person who chooses ski sees a lot of various options, and if you choose a snowboard, it's just a snowboard stance. But for ski, we have a lot of different buttons, and if we scroll down here, we'll see press the calculate button to get recommended DIN settings. So the person can't submit a form without pressing this button. It's gonna complain. And the person also can't press the button if all these fields are empty. So all fields are required. So we're gonna choose some things and then press calculate DIN, and then they will get a message saying what their recommended DIN setting is, and it will say it here. Here, in this field, the person can override DIN settings, but it still doesn't mean that our value of 2.25 is going to be lost. It's not lost. Every time a person presses a calculate DIN, we populate a hidden field called default DIN, and it can't be changed. So it's going to be always in FileMaker. And if a person is not trying to override and says, okay, I'm okay with 225, then it's going to be only one value in FileMaker. But if a person wants to change it to 3, for example, he's going to see another field that says, okay, I understand that I chose higher than recommended in settings, and I'll put my initials here. Okay, so next we have agreements. Also, all of them should be initialed, and it's all required. The last one is a resort-specific liability form, also should be initialed. Then we have a summary and signature page where we type full name required, company is not required, date is required. And then if retailer during the registration said that this person will pay his or her fees himself, then there will be this section, payment section. If retailer paid for this person is not going to see a payment section. He's good to go. But right now we see that registration was $20 and employer said that I'm going to pay my fees. So this field is now also required. And attendee will have to provide his credit card information in order to register. And for attendees, we won't create any payment profiles. We're just going to charge them using AuthorizeNet add-on. Okay, so this is how the form looks for people. And here we can see how the form looks under the hood. So all of this are hidden fields, and we please don't change them or modify them. Just They're just there, but they're not visible anyway, so we'll just leave them here. And if we scroll down, all of these fields, for visible fields, so for height, keyboard type, and classification, I use them in a calculation to calculate the DIN setting using the red button that's right here. So unfortunately, you can't manually add another option here. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna count it here because then we will need to adjust the calculation. But other things can be changed, like this one. I'm pretty sure you'll want to change a field label or something else. And when you have a different show, all the forms, so I marked them. So this is drug and alcohol form. This is a demo equipment warning. And here's the resort specific form. For the show, you would change it to the resort specific form that you want. And this is just a plain text, but if you want something to be centered, it should be between these tags. And if you want it to be bold, this is where we use strong. But other than this is plain text. And break means like a space between these two sections. Okay, so this is how it looks. And the final piece of this is a PDF. So I'll talk more about customizing PDFs in the next video. But the main thing you need to understand is right here. So retailer WWSRA will receive their copy of signed liability forms, and the person will receive liability form. So right now it looks like this, but it can be changed. So it's pretty simple, black and white, has all the initials, date, full name, and since we didn't fill out the company, it won't print the empty field, but if a person would provide a company name, it would be between date and full name. And if a person paid for the registration, we'll see credit card information and the price he or she paid. Okay, so I think that's it for liability forms. Thank you. Bye.